Welcome back to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. I want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for being part of this show, for tuning in, either as part of our listeners or viewers. We don't take this kind of support for granted because we know that it is your unwavering support that has made us be where we are today. You remember that those people we started with when we started the channel with some 2 or 3 subscribers, and they have continued to follow the channel, share their thoughts, share our videos, making correction where necessary. And I really thank you for your support. Allow me to thank you and to request you in the same breath to subscribe to our channel if you're watching for the first time. Turn on the notification bell. This will allow YouTube to notify you whenever we release a video like this. Ladies and gentlemen, floods have really raged and it's causing a lot of devastating effects in our country. And if there is a time to pray for our nation, I believe it is now. I'm not talking about the prayer bands that have been formed in State House and the bishops and all that. They can also pray, but at at an individual capacity, we should really pray for our nation. I know God will listen to our prayers because I believe those prayers are genuine, because we don't expect any brown envelopes from State House or from anything. It will be genuine prayers for our nation. Yesterday, William Ruto visited the Mai victims. And this happened after the deputy president had been there, Rigathi Gachagua. Uhuru Kenyatta had also donated about 2 million Kenya shillings to the victims. So while William Ruto visited that place, several people criticized the manner in which he handled that situation. As the head of the nation, and we've always known Ruto, especially when Ruto was campaigning, he used to donate 1 million. He meets Mama Mboga's 1 million Kenya shillings. He meets Boda Boda 1 million Kenya shillings. So he visited victims who had lost their relatives, victims who had been in the cold for some times, victims who just a few days ago had their homes, had their relatives. Some of them were dining well, living well, but now they were living in the cold. They didn't have money, they didn't have food, they didn't have clothes. And William Ruto went there without any humanitarian support. And people really faulted William Ruto for this. He should have done it better. Considering that when he was campaigning, he used to give a lot of money. And I remember people were warned that all this money that William Ruto is giving, a time will come that when he will recover them. And now you can see. I remember at some point he was saying that the Azimio are, questioning where he's taking his money because they are stingy. Another thing that happened when William Ruto went there, he started talking about affordable housing. And to me, that was not the time to talk about affordable housing to people who have been victims of floods. That calamity was really devastating. Then he informed them that the Kenya Defense Forces would join the rescue mission, because already I think the National Youth Service was already there. The Kenya Police was also represented, and it was only the KDF was there. See, when things get thicker, we always call for the KDF. So William Ruto promised them that with the entry into the rescue team of the KDF, things would be well. And after that, in fact, he said he had ordered the KDF. And by today, some people were saying that maybe the KDF had not joined the rescue mission, and they were asking, is KDF now defying the commander-in-chief of all the armed forces? But I searched and I realized that indeed the KDF had joined us, or had joined the rescue team in Mai. The problem is that they are suffering from lack of equipment. I want us to read something here very fast. One body rescued, or one body recovered as KDF joins Mai rescue operation. So they had joined. But let's read further. The search and recovery operation for over 80 missing persons in the Kijabe Maimahu flash floods tragedy entered third day Wednesday, with one more body being recovered. This brought the total number of people who have been confirmed dead to 52, with at least 20 others admitted to various hospitals. This is really sad. Kenya Defence Forces joined the search and rescue mission following a directive by President William Samoei Ruto, who visited the area on Tuesday. Now, I want you to get this. The KDF is now collaborating with the National Youth Service and the Kenya Red Cross Society, even as lack of proper equipment poses a challenge to the operation. I want to repeat that again. The KDF is now collaborating with the National Youth Service, NYS, and the Kenya Red Cross Society, even as the lack of proper equipment poses a challenge to the operation. The officers spent hours struggling to reopen one of the blocked tunnels where bodies of those washed by the waters upstream are believed to be trapped. And ladies and gentlemen, that really caught my attention because it is very sad. You see, we have seen the KDF join very many rescue missions when houses collapse, when we have such disasters, floods, and all that, landslide. They have always been there, especially when when situations get tougher. We always call upon the KDF. In fact, the cause of General Ogola's death was because bandits had had taken control of northeastern and Baringo area to an extent that schools were closed. So Ruto ordered the KDF to go and help rebuild schools, because when there is a lot of danger, it is only the KDF that can go there because they are protected and they have engineers. So they were building schools there. And it was during that moment when General Ogola was going to supervise what was going on that he met his death. People are still asking, why couldn't we even send some officers of a lower rank? Why should a whole CDF, Chief of General Staff, be given a role of supervising classes and schools that are being, constructed? But KDF is always sent in tough situations where maybe the NYS and the ordinary Kenyans cannot afford to undertake certain missions. But when you see that they have joined a mission, a precarious mission that is very devastating, has cost lives, and then we are being informed that their suffering or lack of equipment is posing a challenge. I mean, it is very sad. Why was William Ruto, for example, sending them to join that rescue mission if they knew very well there are no equipment? And then over the years, what have we been doing? It only shows that there is a lot of lack of preparedness to such disasters. Disasters like drought and flood and earthquake are things that you cannot predict. And so the only thing that we need to do is to be very prepared, so that upon the encounter of such disasters, then we swing very fast to rescue the situation. Some of these are caused by man-made negligence or just the way we conduct ourselves, developments and constructions. But we should be very careful. So when I read that we do not have the capacity in terms of equipment to rescue our beloved Kenyans who are dead, who have been swept away by floods, I felt very sad. Our priorities are really not up to date. And I was wondering, if it was Azimio supporters who had gone to the street, then you'd realize that tear gas will be availed very fast. You'd realize that there is money to buy tear gas. There's money to buy equipment to maybe kill people on the streets and to disperse them. But now when it comes to serious missions where we are rescuing our beloved Kenyans, because there are families who are now waiting, praying that, that they get their loved ones who are killed. It is very painful to lose a loved one, but it is even more painful, especially in the African culture. We'd always want to give our relatives a befitting send off, just to ensure that that is my daddy or mommy or my child or who or my friend, and you can see that he was buried. You see the place and you feel better than when you just feel that he died and the flood swept him away and you cannot see them. It doubles the pain. So when the KDF is sent on such a very special mission and they're crying foul of lack of equipment, then we fault the government. I thought these are things that we need to have. Red Cross is there, National Youth Service, but the KDF has also joined them. Don't you think we need to now, in the budget committee, I don't know who is in charge of the budget committee, but we need to plan so that instead of wasting a lot of money, like the control of budget told us that State House has gobbled a lot of money in renovations and entertainment. We have a lot of money going to the First Lady's office and the Second Lady and the Prime Secretary's, Prime Minister Salam Davadi's wife's office. It is very unnecessary. When we hear a lot of corruption and wastage, and yet we are told that we do not have enough tools to rescue our people, it is very sad that they are struggling now to open a tunnel. We have people who are skilled, the KDF and the Red Cross, we have skilled people, but they are suffering from lack of equipment. I think it is very sad, and it adds to the pain of the victims who are now waiting for their loved ones to be rescued. And I think moving forward, William Ruto must now sit down to know our priorities as a country. Because we are a country that, we are amorphous in terms of our planning. We don't know where we are coming from. We don't know where we are going to. We are shapeless. And that is my cry in this analysis, that it is very shameful as a nation. Because why I feel this is very sad, we do not know. We've been warned that we must be prepared for even much more rains that are to come in the next few days. And you've seen the way flood swept vehicles and property. It was very devastating and people died. So if by now we are saying that we do not have enough equipment and tools, then it is very sad, because next something is going to happen. Then you are telling us that we are not going to rescue our people. Do we have the money that was meant for El Nino? Because this was predicted a long time ago when William Ruto said he had prayed to his God, their usual God in State House, and the God told him we will not have such big rains. How prepared are we? Is the money still there? I think we can order for equipment even now so that they reach us at the right time, because we cannot wait. We cannot be listening to sad news about this government every day. I used to see the KDF having, being well equipped. In the many cases where they've been sent on missions, I've never heard of any cry of lack of equipment, and I don't know why this is happening now. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I think we need to do more, and William Ruto must do something. We continue to pray for our nation and for all the victims, not only of those from my Mau, but and the entire country that have been affected. Not even our country alone. In Tanzania, people died. In fact, this is now a global disaster, and we just pray that God comes in. But we must do our part as a nation. I don't know what to think, but that is my take.